But what I do know is that we are live.
Oh,
Cool.
There we go.
So we're live.
Fascinating.
Hopefully,
10-3, by the way, LA.
another boring game.
should be YouTube and Twitch. Let's test them out, see how things are going. The Geekiverse, as Apple CarPlay likes to say.
Ooh, I love
Geekiverse is
that.
on
Mr.
YouTube.
Geekiverse.
The Geekiverse. That's what Siri says when you play through CarPlay.
I'm gonna call it that from now on.
Now playing the Geekiverse.
In the group,
For
the
years, my
Geekiverse,
cousin said
Josiah says.
Geek Universe.
Get on the Geekyverse. Somebody Mike calls us the Geekyverse.
It's fair.
I'm gonna do a mic check down. Just go down the line, however you guys want to do it, however you're organized. But Josiah, can you kick me off with a sound check?
I can. Sound check. 1, 2, 3. Ready to get going on another year of drafting.
Somebody else go.
Testing.
Okay.
I'm the best. I'm gonna win this year. That's it.
Derek.
Test. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Test 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, goodbye.
And Rashawn.
Test. 1, 2.
Boom.
Draft. Don't know what else to say.
I think we're good. I think
Hooray!
levels are good.
We did it.
All right. Everything should be good on the stream side. The draft order was set randomly, so that's good to go. If anyone's hanging out in chat, welcome. If there's any audio balancing issues or anything weird going on, please let me know in chat so we can iron them out. But other than that, I think we are in a good spot, Joe.
Cool. Here we go.
You good to start
Sounds
recording? Everyone else ready? Anyone good to go?
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right. We are recording in 3, 2.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to 2025. We've got a new year here at the Geekiverse. So excited. We've got the whole crew. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Some pretty faces. And Derek. Just kidding, Derek. You're beautiful. We are drafting tonight. We're drafted for the Geekiverse Fantasy Critic Games Draft. Man, we've got some stuff to catch up on. I've got some fun facts to spit out. We'll talk about last year's winner, all the other tiers for the rest of the crew. And then we'll talk about what this draft looks like. And then, of course, we'll get drafted. I'm Josiah Leroy today. With me, Mr. John Fick. John Fick, what's your team name going into this year?
The same as always. The same team that's been on top 3 of the 4 years this has existed. I thought you guys would buy me a trophy this year, but nobody did, so I got my own. We got Dry Hop Digital as per usual.
I'm waiting to get a trophy until I win, so it could be a while, guys. But when I do, I'm going to get it.
I never got mine.
Side note, John has won 2 years for the Geekiverse as a league. He's kind of like the AFL Bills with the other championship.
Sorry.
It is a championship, but it's not the Super Bowl. It's fine.
Literally on the screen, I go to 2020, I see myself with 152 points, and I see Josiah with 63 points.
I'm not saying anything about it. You won the league. It wasn't the Geekiverse league at that time, so it's
I
fine.
think you can't count that because there's not enough people in the league.
I look at him. He's so cute. All right.
One of the JT can still side what counts based on our emotions.
No.
That's my job.
Stand up in anger.
Oh, no.
I got that.
All right.
Don't
Tim
worry.
Talbot, what do we got here for this year?
So I'm just looking to take Mr. John down. So like I did the year prior to him winning when he thought he could go undefeated and he did not. So my team name is GameCube Classics because I have a theory that Portal 3 is going to launch on the Nintendo Switch 2.
It's quite the theory.
That's it.
Whatever you say.
No
Mr.
other reason to it. I
JT.
put a GameCube Classics aside from that sole reason right there.
Okay. All right. I don't believe you. JT, what do we got?
I still think 2023 draft or year was rigged for Tim. I hate all of you, and last year didn't count.
What's your team name?
Oh, team name. Cynthia's therapist.
Pretty good.
From the greatest horror game of all time.
From the greatest game of all time, but yes, I agree.
I ain't mad about it. Mr. Rashad, Platinum King over here. What team name are we going with this year?
What's going on? You know what? The fact that you just said that, I mean, I don't know. I know this is for fun, but I'm joking when I say it's probably be some copyright if I named myself Platinum Games. But it's Royalty Games instead because I couldn't think of anything else. And I think last year I named it One More Minute because I waited till the literal last minute to get signed in last year. So I didn't do that this year.
That's good. That's good. We did 2 minutes this year. All right, Derek. Derek, what's the team name?
The team name is a follow-up from last year's annoying team name of Whopper, 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 Whopper. Now it's Junior Double Triple Whopper. So I think I'm just going to hammer out the lyrics of the BK commercial as we do this year by year.
Good luck. They change every commercial. So hard to keep up with. I think all of a sudden they changed the verse and we lost. Look like a
just to be
fool out
clear
here.
here, we're not sponsored by Burger King, so
We're not.
I'm open to it, so hit us up.
But also, Burger King, give us money. It'd be cool.
100%. Pay me in double cheeseburger. I'll do that too.
That's fine.
maybe I won't eat McDonald's anymore.
There you go.
Him.
That alone's your win, Burger King.
McDonald's.
Get on it.
Kensington?
Got some
Oh, God.
competition there.
There's your motivation,
I'm
Burger
sorry.
King. You get one more customer. Get on it.
I was
Let's go.
just trying to get under Rashad's skin there in the best of ways. No, look at that.
Just
He's
bring
taking the
up
high road.
FedEx.
He's a good man.
All you got to do is bring up FedEx and
Oh, Tim, it's inappropriate. Thanks if you're tuning in live on YouTube or Twitch. We really appreciate it. I'm going to give a little bit of history here for what happened in prior years. John is going to go over the rules and then we'll get drafted here. But going back to the first year of the Geekiverse version of this, so John won a championship in 2020. My notes start at 2021. John won that year with
How
a score
convenient.
of
This just
120
happened to
points.
start that year.
There's 2020 is irrelevant.
He still made
hi-
note that you won, so there it is.
I did. I literally said he won. It's great. Highest game score that year for any roster. Forza Motorsport 5, 24 points. I had that on my roster. The lowest is a game I forgot existed. JT had Battlefield 2042. It got -5 points.
Wow.
Pretty wild. 2022, we had a
remember that.
CBA strike, I think. A collective bargaining agreement just didn't happen.
Yeah, we couldn't get together.
2023, we got back at it. No controversy here whatsoever. Tim won with 134 points.
how did I do it?
highest-
Let's just clarify here.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Highest game score, again, me. I had Zelda. So there's a theme here. I get the highest score and nothing else. Highest score for Zelda, that was 32 points, which is wild. I also had the lowest. I was tied with JT for the lowest. -11 points for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. No, I'm sorry, not JT. It was John. John counterpicked Hogwarts Legacy, I believe. Did I?
Wake 2. Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to come out. To set the record straight, I didn't think it was going to be bad.
yeah,
I didn't think it was going to come
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
If we're
crazy.
counting counter picks, though, there was also a counter pick for Alan Wake 2 for 19 points. There was Starfield for 15, Legacy for -14, which is wild to consider all the points that were being taken away there.
For sure.
If you look at our scoring there's one game that has an orange bar through it, and that is, if you could even call it a game, the day before.
got a 12 on Critic. That's
They
crazy.
got a 12. The lowest score any game has ever gotten, for sure. The league felt so bad for everyone who drafted that game, they didn't count it. This is basically what
So-
happened.
If only you could have lived in the Geekiverse group text message for those few days. It was pure gold between, is this going to count? Is it not going to count? Oh my gosh. People are voting on whether we should figure it. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. So needless to say, that was a controversial year. This year,
Turns out all we had to do was have a toggle on that, a setting that says as long as the game has a score, it will count. So it doesn't need to come out. It just needs to have a score. That exists because there's a lot of early access games. We did not have that setting on that year. Obviously, we couldn't turn it on midway through the year. We do have that setting on now. So if a game has a score, even if it gets canceled, if they release something and it got scored, those points count for you or against you. If that game's out there and those reviews, it will count now.
we call it the day before clause for sure. It's wild. 2024, of course, we get back to John being crowned as champion with 115 points. It was really tight this year.
Real tight.
I'll tell you, I felt extremely confident in my year, and then I just didn't get there, unfortunately. Flight Simulator was my crutch there. It didn't do what it normally does.
Yeah, we got a point where
And,
all my games were out, and then you and Tim were just a few points behind me, and you both had one game left. You had Flight Simulator, and Tim had Stalker 2. I think you both just needed to put up like an 83 or better, and either of you would have won, and neither of those things happened. Flight Sim came out as a disaster. Stalker 2 was underwhelming, and somehow you guys couldn't get over the hump. But I'm not mad about it.
And Flight Sim also, by the way, had a quick comeback. Like, it got fixed and rescored and is a much better game, but it was too little too late, unfortunately, for me there. Highest game score for the year, Astrobot at 29 points. I had that on my roster. The game of the year, by the way, if you didn't know. The lowest score, it breaks my heart. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League at -11. That was on JT's roster. And then some random fun facts here before we let John just kind of describe what the rules are if you're new to this. To my knowledge, Derek was previously the only person to score positive points from a counter pick until John did it. And Derek had done it twice, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
JT, oh man, JT.
I'm a good hater. That's all it is.
JT, man, counter picked a -17 for Indiana Jones and a -15 for the Golden Idol. Rashawn got a -15 for not using one of his counter pick slots. So basically, for just not picking anything, you have to do two. You have to do two counter picks, and he did one. It wouldn't have made a big difference, but still. John picked Hellblade 2. I will go back to the pre-Geekiverse era here in 2020.
Convenient. Now
2020.
Now the notes are here all of a sudden. What the?
I found them, guys. They're at the bottom. It's crazy.
There you
Tim
go.
also picked Hellblade 2 in 2023. Came out last year, along with. John picked Hollow Knight, Silk Song in 23 and 24, and probably 25. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter. He won the championship. And this was the crazy one to me. JT picked Silk Song in 2021.
Yep.
So funny to hear some of these games that are still not out or just have come out that are high profile. But I can't wait to see what fun facts we're into that list this year, fellas. I'm going to give it over to John so he can be the master of ceremonies and take us into the draft with the rules.
Beautiful. Yeah, so if you're not familiar, Fantasy Critic is just like fantasy football or fantasy hockey, whatever fantasy sport you're used to, it's that for video games. So the idea is that the six of us are going to draft our teams, and we're going to be drafting games that are going to come out this calendar year. So video games releasing in 2025, and the goal is to pick the games that we think are going to review the best. So the way the scoring works on the screen, I'll just flip to last year just as a reference here. We've got JT's team up front and center here. So the first game, Princess Peach Showtime, came out. It has a 75 on Metacritic, so he gets 5 points. So basically every point over a 70 that the game scores is a point for your team. Every point below 70, so if you look at the one right below Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, that got a 59, that gave JT -11. So you see that you want to go for those heavy hitters. Every point above 70 for you, every point below 70 goes against you. So today we're only going to be drafting half of our roster. So we're going to be drafting 6 games each, and then it's up to us to fill out the roster throughout the rest of the year. So we have a team full of 12 games. We're going to draft 6 today, and throughout the rest of the year, as things get announced, there'll be plenty of games that don't get drafted today. We slowly add to our roster. The way we do that is with the secret bidding system. We all have 100 fake dollars, so we've got a budget of 100 that we can use to draft a game. So if we finish the draft today, then all of a sudden, I don't know, Last of Us Part 3 gets announced, and it's coming out this year. If that gets announced tomorrow, we can all bid on that game to add it to our roster. We can throw as much money as we want to it. It's a secret bid, so we don't know who's winning, who's losing until the bids process every Saturday night. So that's how you add to your games. There's also a fun little twist to it, something called the counter pick. So we all have 2 counter pick slots. One of them will be drafted today. The other one will be done later, like free agency. The counter pick is basically, we have to pick one. It is a game that has been selected by somebody else that we think is going to perform poorly, or a good strategy is to pick one you think might not come out. Because the way the counter pick works is you get the opposite points for the counter pick. So if I counter pick a game, like, let's go back to the last year again, just so we have a visual reference. So we'll go to my team last year. I counter picked Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake because I was pretty confident that it wasn't going to come out, and that was the case. Someone who got positive points. Oh, we just talked about it. Derek. Yeah, Derek counterpicked Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and that game did a 59, so he got positive 11 points. Like Joe said a minute ago, it's only happened 3 times where people have gotten positive points on counterpicks. It's hard. If a game's coming out, it's not often getting a review score lower than a 70. A lot of good games, getting released, so it's tough to do. But yeah,
It's a good hater.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to be a good hater. Other than that, the draft order has been decided randomly. We let the website pick it for us. So we've got JT going first. We've got Josiah going second. Tim third. Rashawn fourth. I missed one. Me fifth. Derek sixth. Yep, there we go. So that's our.
Yeah,
that's
man,
our,
the website seems to hate me.
because you keep getting last. I swear it was based on last year's results, although it was pretty close. It is a snake draft, so it will double back. Derek will get 2 picks in a row, and it'll go that way. And we, like I said, we're going to pick 6 games, half of our roster today, and then at the very end, we're going to pick a counter pick, and the counter pick has to be from a game that was drafted from somebody else's roster, obviously. But fellas, without further ado, do we have any questions, any clarification needed from the crew here? Everyone feeling good about this?
Do it.
Feeling good.
Cool. Rashawn, I'm going to tell you, man, is all you had to do.
I know.
You just had to add a couple of games, man. We were
Look here.
rosters like in October. The 5
Look
games
here.
were locked in. You could have just added there are a lot of scraps out there left for you, man.
Yep.
So you just gotta be a little more attentive.
Theoretically, if I would have added a game that scored a 75, well, because where did I finish last year?
You finished second last.
Third.
Second
Second.
last. Yeah.
That wouldn't have done nothing.
If you would have added 5 games that
Just adding.
Yeah, like a 75 or an 80.
Okay.
It would have shot you up the leaderboards 100%. You had a good.
So basically, what I'm doing is I'm drafting a starting lineup in a 6-man, and then I'm upset because I lose the game because my team is gassed out because I don't have any other bench players. I don't have nothing.
In this example, the bench players are playing at the same time. Everyone's going counts.
Right. Okay. Hey, listen, chat and team. We are changing that this year. I will be active for the first time because every year I draft, I'm never active. I turn up. I don't even log in. If I'm being honest, I didn't log in a single time. That will change this year. I'm going to draft the best team, then I'm going to sign the best free agents, and we're winning this thing. I'm not enough of John winning this. This is ridiculous. You should
sign them all like in the first half of the year too, Rashawn. I heard that's a good strategy. Definitely don't leave any leeway for the last 2 months.
But I'm gonna stop talking though, and we're gonna get to the draft because I'm about actions here.
So we do. My last point before we get started, Josiah. I'm sorry. Astrobot Zaya is the name of the year. Astrobot Zaya?
The game of the year.
That's a really bad pun. There's not even a connection between Bot and Josiah. Like there's no connective tissue there. You just took 2 words. No, not good. Not your best.
No, it's not my
like
best, but it's fine. Like it's fine.
I like it, Joe.
It's Beers of the Kingdom. Delay's gone.
Yeah, delay's gone. That's because the word actually works in the pun. But Zaya is just.
You're thinking way too much into it. Yeah, I thought about it for literally. Listen.
All I'm saying is maybe you should care more. Maybe you should care more.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, fellas, we're ready. JT, you have the first pick. I'm going to press start drafting. I imagine that all of your websites should refresh and everything should go smoothly. But if not, hey, we'll figure it out. Boom. Okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if I can't even think of a game right now. If something does come out and we do a free agent signing and 2 people bet 98 fake dollars, let's say, so they go to the max. How does that tiebreaker work?
That's a good question.
I never thought of that.
It's probably be very hard to happen.
We talked about it because it came up last year just in case it would have happened. There is a room for it. I don't unfortunately know right now. We will figure it out before the end of the episode. We'll disclose that. I can't look into it because my screen is being shared for the video, but I'll find out. There's for sure a tiebreaker thing because we looked into whether or not we wanted to keep it secret bidding or if we wanted to like let the bids be public so you can see what you're going up against, and we decided to keep it secret because that was that's kind of the spirit of the game. And then I was looking into that there was all of the tiebreaker stuff when it comes to the bids, so the data exists. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay, cool. We chilling.
But yeah, the draft is live. JT, you're up. How you feeling? Got that number 1 spot.
don't see it, buddy. Sorry.
He don't know what he did.
The draft is currently in progress.
Yeah, no.
I'm just gonna refresh the page.
Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got you. We got you,
I
bro. We got
I
you.
refreshed it. We're good.
I heard
He don't know
Wolverine's
what
a
he
great
doing
pick.
with that first pick.
All right, with the first pick.
Tell me when you select it, 'cause I think I have to
Draft.
refresh. This is an interesting one. This is
Flex Monster Hunter Wilds.
I'm not sure I would envy the first pick in this. He took Monster Hunter Wilds.
It's
I
gonna
think
be.
that
I agree with you, John. I agree with you.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the safe pick, because when you're in that situation as Josiah is now, the obvious one is GTA 6. It's so hard to skip on that game, but does it hit this year is the big question, obviously. So
I really
Josiah's
thought
up.
he was going to take GTA.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's, if you're first on the board, you gotta be looking at it, but does it come out? That's the question.
We'll see. No.
Josiah, he does it. Takes GTA 6. I mean, like I said, you got to do it, and you've got some
I can't
built-in,
pass it up.
and you've got built-in protection, because if you're going to counterpick, then good luck. If that game comes out, your season's over.
See, so that,
Yeah,
that was
I
my
know.
mindset.
Yeah.
I had 3 games at the top of my list that I was like, hey, I could go with any of these. I had a preference. And with GTA, I mean, I could eat these words. My mindset was it is too big to pass up. I'm okay living with it if it doesn't come out. Like,
Yes.
I'm okay with that
Yeah.
getting a 0. Like,
Right.
totally good with that
Uber
risk.
bust.
That
It's
but
like-
yep.
I think GTA 5 did something it was like 97, something insane, like average score. So like if I can get any semblance of that with this, it, assuming I draft halfway decent for the rest of it, it should be lights out. But
Sure.
you're right, it's also counter pick proof, I think. Like, good luck. Like that would destroy if it went the other way, I think.
Yes, for sure,
We'll-
for sure.
we'll see.
The only philosophy with Silksong last year, it's like I'm taking Silksong. It might not come out, but good luck counterpicking it, because like if that comes out and you get screwed, like yikes.
I waited till the last minute to do that.
Right,
The
exactly.
only
That's what
sport
makes sense.
analogy I could come up with for that is like when Zion Williamson got drafted, Fat Zion.
Yeah.
Like he turned out to be the GT equivalent of it not coming out. But like,
Right.
good
You
luck
had
trying to
to
pass
pick.
up on it. You had to draft
Yeah.
them at number
Right.
1. You had to.
All right. So
Except JT did not.
no, he did not.
He took the Gregorian over KD.
I'm not going to go ahead and say that yet there, man. JT might be...
I
I'm not
think-
going to blame him on it, because like the other
No,
part about
it's a good
GTA
pick.
6 is going to be like, what if it ends up somehow disappointing to the standard that everyone's expecting it to be? That's going to be the problem.
I think that's possible in public perception. I'm not sure it's possible in critic review. That's just my opinion on that, though.
I just see like what did the last Monster Hunter game review?
90s.
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
That was good.
Monster, yeah,
no,
Yeah.
Monster Hunter
90s.
hits.
That's an outstanding first pick.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
going
think
to
you
be
can
a
go
great
wrong.
game, and it's
Yeah.
coming out.
That would
Like,
have been my first pick
yeah.
for sure. I was
That
Monster
is-
Hunter first.
I can't
Don't worry,
miss.
JT, I got you, man.
I appreciate
I think
it.
it's a good pick.
I usually
Anyway,
have a good
it's a
first
great
2
pick.
picks, and everything else is terrible.
Great pick.
So I am going with Ghost of Yote.
Ghost of
Let's go.
Yote. Yeah, I think those are
hate
the
you.
clear 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Not much behind it. Obviously, the fact that it is what it is.
I'm going to
That's
be
another
honest,
one I don't think is
do
coming
not.
out, but we'll
yeah,
see.
that's not coming out this year.
I don't think
I
so.
highly
I want to
doubt
pick it.
Guys,
Ghost?
it's been
For 2025.
yeah. It's
That's coming out.
it's 5 years in between development. I mean, yeah, Ghost came out in 2020, man. It's very
Doesn't
possible,
matter, brother.
Yes, it does.
No.
I'll tell you
pick it.
this. John,
It
you'll,
matters.
Ghost of
All right,
Jote
my
was my
turn.
other
Let's
name.
go.
That see that one works. Ghost of Jote would have been
Yeah, he
sick.
did that.
Dang.
I'm stuck between 2.
I was going to pick it the following year when it wins Game of the Year.
There you go.
I can't get this wrong.
Good.
I won't get it wrong.
I love for Sean.
You know what?
You can't not do it. I know it. Every piece of you wants to draft it. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. And you just freaking do it. Just pull the trigger. I know what you
I
want
know.
to do.
I
You
know
just
what
do it.
you're thinking. That I'm actually not. I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna draft it, and then we're gonna see.
Tim's thinking Elden
okay.
Ring. Rashawn's not.
I know. Yeah, Tim is
You're
thinking
thinking
Elden
Tim.
Ring. I'm not. Okay. Metroid Prime 4. The safe Nintendo pick. I'm gonna go.
That's
with.
safe.
That's not coming out.
Listen.
Okay.
It has an equal amount of chance as Ghost of Yote and GTA 6. It has,
Didn't they just cancel all the
it has the
pre-orders?
same chance. So we're all in this together now.
You're probably right.
I think they just canceled all the pre-orders for that. Yeah, Amazon Prime canceling pre-orders for Metroid Prime 4.
That was just
because it's
because.
about to be rebranded.
Yes, yeah, that's why.
Skewed.
For a different
But what
system
I'm
and stuff
thinking-
like that.
Well, they're gonna come out when does Nintendo Switch 2 come out? Does that come out
Switch
this
to
year?
launch
Yeah.
title or Switch to holiday release.
Switch holiday for sure.
Yeah, okay, it's possible.
One of the two.
I think it's a
That's
good
my
pick.
bet.
I wouldn't have had it that high, but
Yeah, for sure. I again, it's just
if it comes out, man.
I think Sean's right. It's just as likely as Ghost of Yotai and GTA.
With a new system on the horizon, I think it only has a slightly better chance than Ghost and GTA. Not much, just slight with the new system, and we don't know what else that could bring. But Nintendo, as we know, is secret.
Can I ask a quick, not to derail the draft here, but why do we think Ghost is not coming out? I just want to hear your opinions.
I think it's a strong shot, but I don't think it's guaranteed. That's it.
It's just the nature of everything getting delayed. It's just just the world we're in.
I think we haven't had as much delayed as of late. Like big games like that from big well-known publishers.
I also my bias comes from because we don't even know about the status of this game. I thought Sony's slate was going to be Wolverine 2025, whatever the next thing is 2026. Next thing being Ghost of Yote, but we have no idea about Wolverine, so I'm probably going to eat crow about that. I have more faith in Ghost of Yote coming out than GTA. I almost guarantee GTA gets delayed, in my opinion.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I think of those three games we talked about, Ghost of Yote is obviously the one that is most likely, and it's the one that's like confidently gotten the date. Yes, GTA has the date too, but that game is so big. Who knows?
Yeah.
My pick. I'm in an interesting spot here. I think there's some stuff that are some no-brainers, and I'm between two of those no-brainers right now. Like there's one that I'm like, it's almost that that Microsoft Flight Sim status where it's like it can't miss, but then all of a sudden it missed. So is this the year that Civ 7 doesn't hit?
Well, John, I destroy games, so like I probably just ruined GTA 6. Like Call of Duty, that was one of the worst ranked Call of Duties ever. The year I picked that.
Well, Call of Duty's trash, but
people were.
You also pick the highest scores every year.
Every year.
Yeah,
Call of Duty, people
you're
were getting
jinxing yourself
exhausted.
here.
Yeah, Call of Duty fatigue is a decade old at this point.
This most recent COD was an actual good COD.
Yeah, for sure.
It was great.
All right, I'm going to go with Civ 7. I am going to take what I think is a pretty safe pick and a game that I'm pretty confident is coming out too. Doesn't have a date yet, but we're rocking with Doom.
Yeah, let's go.
That's what I was debating. I was debating Doom versus Metroid, and I'm gonna trust Nintendo.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, it's a big year for them. Switch 2 is coming out. I mean, I think they're gonna have a banger launch lineup, and I think that there's a good chance.
You had to make us wait for something, and it can't just be Mario and Zelda every time. Even though that does bring money. It prints money. It prints money, but let's see something different. Come on.
All right. So I gave it to Derek. He took Civ 7 and he did something else too. So.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was thinking about that one. You were debating Civ 7, and I'm like, you know what? It is a beloved game. It has a very strong following, and they typically do a pretty good job. Like you were saying, there's the doubt of like, what if it's the year that it finally misses? Mm-hmm. I doubt that that's going to be the case.
I agree. It's a great pick.
But then, of course, I'm going to have to do a thing that I do, which is draft a game that I know I'm going to play and probably love, and that's going to be Pokemon Legends Arceus.
I knew it. Legends ZA.
Yep. Or not Arceus, yeah, ZA. So, like, I love the Arceus game so much that I said the wrong title. But ZA is a game that has been highly anticipated coming out, and they took their time with this one, so that's a good news.
It is officially 2025 dated, and I really would not be surprised if that hits because again, Nintendo has been saving all of their stuff for Switch 2. They've been like you look at the calendar year of 2023 or 2024 and the games that came out, not a very heavy Nintendo year. They've been saving these cards for the Switch 2.
Pokemon usually launches something every year. That was something that I buffed with last year's draft. Okay. But this time around, they know that this game is coming out. They took their time with it. They didn't want to rush it. So I think it's also going to hit pretty well.
Right. All right, it's my next pick. I think I've got it locked in here. There's a lot of great stuff on the board. A lot of great stuff on the
I was
board.
just looking. Yeah.
I think I'm again going with what is maybe the safest pick left on the board because it has
I know what you're picking.
a date. This team hasn't missed yet. We're going split fiction, baby.
Yeah.
Joseph Ferris.
Oh,
I mean, they don't miss, man. Joseph Ferris, split
That's true.
fiction.
He does not miss.
It Takes Two got, I think, like a 92. Brothers scored like in the high 80s. Everything he does, everything the team does is incredible. And split fiction looks amazing, dude. It's coming
can't
out
wait
like
for that game.
this year. It's like March.
Yep,
John,
March
real
6th.
quick, refresh my memory before I pick. So when you picked, it says NGF. What is that again?
New game franchise.
Great call out. Yes. So I totally forgot this. So we do have 2 specialized roster spots that you have to fill out. So you think about like a fantasy football, you can't just draft 20 quarterbacks and start all those quarterbacks. You got to have a tight end. You got to have a couple wide receivers. They implemented like positions kind of a couple years ago. So we have 2 positions that need to be filled. A new game franchise. So one of your games has to fit in that new game franchise. And then the other one is a flex. That's our remake category. So if a game is tagged as a reimagining or a remake, it will be eligible for that spot. So you have to have a remake on your list, and you have to have a new game franchise on your list, or else those spots are blank. And the system will automatically put them in there. When you're browsing games, it'll show you what tags are associated with that game. So like for me, I just took Split Fiction. It went in that new game franchise thing. Anything that's not a sequel will go in there. So.
Copy that. Okay, copy.
Forgive me if you said this. Do we have to draft each of those tonight, or does it just have to be through? Okay.
Yeah, those can be filled in. Those can be filled in throughout the year if you'd like.
And how many do we draft tonight? Just
6, half of your roster. 6. Yep. Yeah, so the roster is 12, 2 counter picks. We draft 6 and 1 counter pick tonight.
All right, since Metroid is risky, I need something safe. And this is what I kept thinking John was going to pick both times. I'm going to pick Like a Dragon. I'm going to go that route.
Yeah,
they're usually a solid 85, 82. Some of them get in the 90s, so I think that'll be a safe bet.
It's a cool looking game too. I love the vibe from what I've
That
seen so
franchise
far.
does a great job.
Oh, I got some question marks here.
There's good stuff left on the board, man.
Go ahead, Tim. You told me to pick it. You pick it. Go ahead.
That's the only one left. I got to do it.
If someone would have picked Like a Dragon, I would have picked.
That was what I would have picked.
Rain.
I think my issue with that game is I think it's their first time doing a game like they're doing. It's a little off the beaten path of the Souls-like. So if it's not done right, it could fall on his face. So we'll see.
Luckily, I think that they're in a good spot because I mean there was mods for Elden Ring that basically made it Night Rain. Like so, FromSoft's like we'll just do it ourselves.
The issue is they're making it kind of like a roguelike, and they're adding different mechanics. You can sprint, like you can revive your teammate. Like they're just adding so much that. If it feels arcadey, I think it's going to be a problem.
It's different. They just haven't missed. So I don't think there's any reason to think they will yet.
I mean, I'm still pretty confident about it, but
yeah, I think you should be.
I'm trying to get someone to counterpick it.
I would have picked that if I had the pick right after my last one. For what it's worth,
So I got to steal. Is what you're saying?
Yes. I think you did.
Steal of the draft.
All right. Going controversial here. Not really.
To draft Astrobot.
Oh, you took Hollow Knight. That's my baby. It's gonna come out. It's gonna get you so many points.
Man,
I cannot wait for that game.
If those games hit, man,
I've
got a good year ahead. But those are 2 big ifs. As you see, my strategy.
Are we sure? Are we sure that one's coming? I know they.
No, you can never be sure.
I know.
It doesn't even say 2025.
I love how video game drafts have literally become like this has become like actual sports drafting. Because with these guys, you never know in sports. you think you know, but you never really know. No. And I love how gaming we're at that point now.
All right, I'm gonna go with Avowed.
It's a pretty safe pick. I think the previews on Avowed, everyone seems to love what they've seen of it so far. Obsidian makes great games, and it's coming out this year for sure. So I think that's a pretty safe pick.
Let's see.
Looks like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, but even so, man, 75 points.
That's so good.
Guaranteed 75 is helpful in this league. I mean, you want a lot of that with your second pick, but there's not a lot of dates out there right now, man. There's not a lot of big games dated.
Yeah.
I think this year is tougher to draft than last year, which is saying
which
a
makes
lot,
this way more fun.
It is.
I think the top of the list this year is much easier. The middle and bottom of the list is going to be harder than last year.
To me, it's the very top. I mean, we're already running out of what we consider to be sure bets. You know, I mean,
I don't know what to do here. All right, I know. I'm doing it. Death Stranding 2.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
I don't know.
First one,
I don't know if it'll
JT draft Madden, bro.
he can.
I might be a college football player.
That Madden 26.
The first one did an 82 or 83, but the director's cut of it did like an 86. So like, I forget who said it. Someone said it recently, but like, the longer we have sat with Death Stranding, the more people understand what it is and the more they appreciate it. So like, it came out to somewhat middling reviews, but I think the impression on that game gets more and more positive every year. And I think now that groundwork is laid out, I think 2 is going to be. I think it's going to put up big numbers.
All right, here we go.
That's a good one.
That's a good
Outer
one.
Worlds
That's a
2.
good one.
Yeah,
I know what
that's
Tim's
coming
going
out.
to pick.
That's
I know
coming
what
out.
he's
Last
gonna
one.
pick. He's going to
was
take
an
what I'm
85.
about to pick.
I don't know.
Yep.
You definitely are, Tim.
Impressive.
Come on now. You know how similar we are.
I guess Outer Worlds got 85. I would have been like 82, 83 on that.
Agreed.
Every time Tim picks something, he either picks something I know he's going to pick or he picks something I've never heard of. And I'm just like, okay, I got an
And somehow
education.
reviews amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. It's like good.
There's no in between.
Tim knows all the games that we're never going to hear about, but he knows they're going to score well.
He's that GM that went to like that backwater town to scout that really great player that just nobody knows about.
Like
he's
Josh
that,
Allen?
He's that. Yeah. Seriously. Fireball. Was it Fireball, California? Yeah. He's from.
And it never ends up as, we're going to take Cole Strange in the first round. And the Rams go, what? We were looking at him in round 4.
Hey, he's taking too long. He's not drafting what I thought he was going
Mm,
It's something we don't know,
I'm
Rashawn.
tempted.
to. Yeah, it's going to be one of these. Yeah, it's going to be a sleeper.
The issue is I don't need to get a sleeper this early.
Yeah, you got some names on the board still.
So
Look, man, if you take Khalil Shakir in the 8th round, that's not too early, okay?
I agree.
That's what I did, and I was like, nope, not ashamed. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if so I'm torn right now because I wanna I gotta do it. Every part of me was debating. I'm just gonna pull the trigger.
I knew it. That's the one. I knew it. I knew he was going to take it. We're either on the same wavelength or he's on a different planet.
Listen,
it's one of the two. It's ever in between.
Ever since Kojima left, I haven't been a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, so I'm hoping them remaking a classic. They really can't mess it up, but we're gonna find out.
That's a lot to hope for.
That would have been my next pick.
Yep, same here. Very safe pick.
I had a different pick. I was really close to pulling the trigger on, but I think I could wait a couple rounds.
What is it?
No,
It's
I'm debating
Madden
if I should get-
2026.
Okay.
no, it's not. But it starts with an M though.
Good.
What do you think it
I'm gonna
was?
Get my remake.
I'm not saying. It's still on the board.
You said it starts with an M. Let me see.
No, I didn't say that.
Actually, no. I'm not going to get that up yet.
I think we got some balanced teams here, folks.
I think it's time to crack a beer, guys. Just saying.
Ooh.
Yo, I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I'm right with you.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, yep.
I don't know why that's so funny.
It follows him into the kitchen.
It's like
downstairs.
Tim's got like a reality TV show going on over there.
Right? Yeah, come with me to the kitch.
There's one in here I would love to take a chance on. I'm not doing it. I'm just doing it.
Take Assassin's Creed Shadows.
All right. No. I'm not doing
do
that. As much as I want
You
it to
love
be good.
Ubisoft. Rashawn's the biggest Ubisoft fan I know.
That glare that he just shot you.
He knows
Mafia.
that game. If that game,
Ooh.
I'm taking Mafia. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's a
All right, yeah,
that's
that's
a
going.
big one. That's a big one. That's probably going to come out. That could be one of our first misses, possibly. Those games don't always score that well, but you never know.
What did we draft?
I drafted Mafia.
The old gun
I
tree.
think it's a good one.
What did the
Yeah,
first
it
one
could be.
review? Let's see.
Mafia 3, I think, was like a 70 something.
66.
It wasn't.
All right, so really
Yeah.
quick here, I have a Myers Creek Chasing Goosebumps
Oh,
sour
that sounds fun.
Oh, that's cool.
with a Geekiverse glass.
Hell
yeah. Cool. Love it.
Sour with
yeah.
blackberry, pineapple, and strawberry.
Hey baby, y'all know I love me some Corona. We're gonna go real simple.
Love it.
Real simple.
Let's go.
You get coffee, Tim, and beer, Tim. You guys are done for.
Ah, I'm so ready. It's been a while.
The clickety clackities.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, you
John's
good.
doing that research. John's
He's doing
cooking.
it.
He's cooking over there.
Yeah, this is the spot in the draft I knew I was gonna get a little sticky. Damn, dude. I don't need to reach that far into the bag yet. Is that coming out though? It's the question. It's the big question. Is that coming out though?
This is the point in the draft for hockey where I'm like, do I take a goalie?
Yeah,
Should
right.
I? Am I? You know.
Yeah, I don't feel great about this one. We're gonna do it. We're gonna take Rift of the Necrodancer.
Okay.
The first one, yeah. So it's a rhythm / RPG for everybody. The first one scored like an 88 though, so let's hope it can live in those footsteps.
You know what game just came out that I was pretty excited to try again is Freedom Wars. I had that game on my Vita.
Me too.
It was so much fun.
Played a ton of Freedom Wars, man. Yeah, I love to see them bring those Vita games to PlayStation. It deserves it. Got 2 picks here, Mr. Kramer. How we feeling?
Terrible, since you guys are all struggling and me, the filthy casual of the group here.
Feels like he's feeling like a Whopper.
Right now, I'm feeling like a Whopper Junior, man. It's not.
Hey,
I'm not
you
the
know.
greatest.
Hey,
I'm not the greatest thing that's going to come out here.
you're a normal Whopper to me. Don't let that get you down.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
He's
I
a regular
appreciate
Whopper.
you.
I'm looking at this list, guy. This is a tough. This is a
This is
whoever
rough.
wins. Whoever wins this year is earned. Not that the other ones haven't been, but this year really, because
Huh.
it's.
You guys gonna
It's-
take that?
just keep looking.
You know, let's not count last year, but the year before we can count. I think that's the
Yeah,
safest
makes
way to do
sense.
it.
All right.
Makes sense to me.
I went with trying to get a remake out of the way
Great
here
pick.
because
let's
the
go with
list is barren this year. From what we've
Oh,
got
that
on
was
the
gonna be
draft
my
right now.
remake.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is one of the best games of their time.
That was
So,
on my watch list.
Yeah, I'm
that was-
going
that
to
was
go ahead and
mine.
go with that. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go with Fable for the other one here.
Oh,
It's
I
got
like
a high
it.
counter pick rate,
Reaching.
but it's my 4th pick. It's time to get frisky and risky.
All right.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Okay.
All right.
I
like
like
Besides,
these
I
teams.
make-
I like everyone's team so far.
I
I'm
take a
not gonna-
chance every year on something that I think sounds cool or is a franchise that I followed. So, die by the sword.
I'm very hopeful for that game. Like, I'm hoping that's not just like my yearning to be optimistic for Xbox stuff coming out, but like it could be very good.
I mean,
I'm
the Fable
hoping.
franchise always was.
I'm at this
Different era,
point-
different studio. You know.
I'm at this point. I've got like a handful, like 7 to 10 games that I feel the same way about, but nothing that like screams off the page. Like all of them, like might come out and they might be really solid. None of them are like leading the pack right now, which is a tough place to be in.
It's a fun place to be in.
It is.
I like it.
This is a tricky draft here.
Yeah, she ain't easy. This game is so stylish. Does it come
I wanna
out?
see- I
And
wanna
do I
see
want-
JT's next pick.
2?
JT, what you thinking over there, brother?
I don't know, man. I'm getting past my my knowledge of gaming here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's looking tough.
I think this
Yeah,
has a
it
really
is.
high ceiling. I think that the floor is that it might not come out. Is it even on here?
What you got, man?
Damn, dude, there's some decisions that can be made in this freaking draft.
Or bid?
Call me Phil Spencer because I'm stacking up the Xbox games.
Let's go.
Hmm.
Sound of Midnight looks so freaking cool, man.
Ah,
That game
that was
looks
gonna be
so
my,
cool.
Yeah, it does.
that was one I was gonna pick.
So, in compulsion games, I mean, We Happy Few, that's all they've worked on over the past like decade, but that game, people love it. Has its own cult following, and that was even before Xbox acquired them.
Oh.
So we'll see.
I'm taking my new game franchise right now. I can't believe I almost forgot about this. It's not my most anticipated game, but man, it's close. It is close. Expedition 33.
Oh, that game looks really cool. That's
It
on
looks-
my short list.
That looks incredible, man. I can't believe I almost forgot about that.
Good
Just
pick.
the first part of the name, I just call it Expedition 33, but obviously it has that
Player Obscure.
exact, yeah. So I didn't think to look at it when I kept scrolling.
Right.
All right, yeah, I'm taking that.
Mr. Talbot.
Think I do it now.
Oh boy. Do what now?
What'd you do?
What does it mean?
What
This is
did you
gonna be
do?
the crazy pick.
What are the
It's gonna be the
numbers
crazy pick.
It's going to be
I
an
say,
unannounced
Rashawn, what does he mean by this?
Yeah, this is gonna be the crazy Tim pick.
Slay the Spire. Yeah, that's
Nah,
a
it's not-
tough.
Oh no, okay, not yet. His next pick.
Yeah, not even a
Tim
release
says-
window
Tim
on
says
Slay the
it's a crazy-
Spire.
It is. I googled it. It's gonna be early access in like spring of fall of 2025. I think. Let me just
Oh, that's
Another early
that's
access game.
risky business. But hey, I respect it.
Tim says it's a risk, and I'm like, what is this game? Oh boy,
I mean, you're not alone. If that makes you feel better.
that makes me feel amazing.
One second.
And if anyone's wondering, games that came out in early access last year are not eligible for the draft. If a game
Like
is
Hades 2.
Hades 2, exactly. Yep. So if a game is out in early access, our league says no. We put a
Oh, I didn't
cutoff.
know that.
Yep. So you
Yeah,
can't.
I was so mad about that because of the new Dynasty Warriors game coming out.
Yes. So the inverse of that is that you can draft games that will release in early access this year, and you can get points for a game that's in early access. So that's the flip side of that.
I might have to log out of the draft and log back in. That's not going to auto pick for me, right?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
Unless you
No
click
games are
set
showing
auto
up.
draft.
I did
Oh
not.
my gosh, you drafted Wolverine?
No, Assassin's Creed
Don't do
Shadows.
that.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, it's not
So
last
I
year.
will or will not get credit for an early access game.
You will. Yes, you will.
Okay, good.
You so you are not allowed to draft games that are already out in early access because they technically
Got
are
it.
already out there. But if you have a game on your roster and it releases in early access, as long as it gets points, so if it gets reviewed, yes, you're good.
All right, so this is where I definitely get riskiest. But that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm swinging for the fences with a lot of these, and they could all be misses. We'll see what happens. But I think there's enough smoke for me to go with this.
Okay. All right.
There was a report on it earlier today.
Oh,
It's in development. That it may even come out this year. That's a big question mark, seeing that it's January 13th. But I'm
Joe, I'm
confident.
with you. I've seen enough about this game supposedly existing for the last 2 years, and it's been really heating up. I do think that we see this. Whether it's this year,
boys.
but I think you might have it.
I would bet any money it's happening. Whether it's this year or not is a different story. But
Right. I think-
Kotaku even had a report about it today.
Yep.
that makes sense for it to happen.
I'm doing it.
I don't
I'm
know if
doing it.
comes-
I'm doing it. Assassin's Creed.
Okay,
I love that.
all
I
right.
love that franchise.
Listen, I hope it's good. I'm
Yeah,
praying
at
because
this-
I'm done with Ubisoft.
At this point in the
I'm done.
draft, I think it's a pretty safe pick. I know it's a known quantity. The Assassin's Creed games, they still do fine. Even as much of a shit show as Ubisoft can be, those games still do and serve that audience. Like When was the last time they've released an Assassin's Creed that's been a dud? It's been a minute.
Oh, I just did something wrong. What did I do here?
I would have to look at the critic reviews. User Mirage was
People liked it. Like, it was, it didn't bomb, And then the three big ones were what, Odyssey,
Origins,
and Origins, and those all were pretty well received.
Odyssey was very good.
Yeah,
Odyssey was.
What'd you say?
The FLX, what is that again?
Flex. So that has
the remakes.
Remakes. Yep.
Oh, okay. So okay. Got it.
Which, Joe, your Oblivion remake will be eligible for that once it actually gets announced.
Okay, so if that gets, let's say, confirmed to be next year, I have to pick something else.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Or else that spot stays empty. Yeah.
Okay.
What am I gonna go with here? I'm struggling, boys.
Not during the draft, right? You don't have to draft that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with
JT's gonna be the first to solidify his right. We got one more pick after that too.
one more,
Yep.
yeah.
I'll be the first one.
Yep. That's how snake drafts work.
I'm gonna go with Kingdom Come Deliverance too.
I think that's a good pick.
That's a good one.
It's a good pick. The first one didn't score that great, but I think people have had some hands on with this, and it seems really, really promising.
Yeah,
So
that's what Google said.
yeah, I think Snowflake Mike is ready to die for that game.
Hey, did we talk about potential? Do you guys want to do that thing that last place plays the worst rated game listed?
We can consider that.
Be down.
We
Like,
can
worst
consider
game
that.
drafted?
Fun. That would be fun.
and at least stream it once.
Yeah.
That should be.
I like
That
that.
would be
idea.
fun.
That'd be a fun little punishment. Yeah,
that'd
whoever
be
finishes last has to play the game that scored overall worst. I mean, you did that by
We
choice
could do
last
it
year.
I know. I like the game, so I hope
That
it's
would
not
be
a
fun.
game I like again.
We could do it at
I'm not gonna lie,
Geeks
that
Get
kind of
Back.
sounds like
Yeah.
incentive to tank.
Yeah, honestly.
No.
I wouldn't even have to play the game without taking. You can just play it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
but
Derek's
Being
like,
forced
shoot.
to.
Never mind that theory. All right. My second to last pick here. I'm going with another big roll of dice. Again, swinging for the fences. I don't really have a ton of reason to believe that this is going to come out, but Nintendo's been hanging on to some stuff for a
Don't do
while.
it.
oh,
Not the Mario
Okay.
Kart.
Nope.
Oh,
not the Mario Kart.
that's the one I was looking at. I was like, I'm not that risky
They-
tonight.
Yeah, it's really, really tough with Nintendo this year, man.
Yeah.
We don't
Very
know,
tough.
We know everything we know about the Switch too, and all the leaks, but nothing about the software, which is obviously,
It's wild.
Damn, there's so many games in here that are debatable.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting free
Oh,
agency
man.
this year because there's going to be a bunch left that are I almost drafted that game and it's still available.
I think even more fascinating with the counter pick round is going to be fun.
Yes, I think it's going to be a tough
Oh,
counter
yeah.
pick.
Yeah, it is. This is going to be the toughest counter pick year we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
So-
pick the wrong thing, it can get really nasty.
Tank your
for you.
season, man.
Yeah.
I still have
Fun
a lot
fact,
of games I feel good about. Sorry, Joe.
All right,
No.
sorry for
You're
not
good.
drafting a game that's guaranteed to not come out again, boys. Okay, I'll be out this time.
Oh man,
Oh,
I don't know if I want to draft this.
Where's your head at, Tim? How you feeling here?
I need a Tim special right now.
I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place. I just feel like a few of these are like.
Tim's about to take a spiritual successor to a PS1 game that he made up.
Listen, you're not completely wrong there. Okay.
I thought he already did that with Slay the Spire too.
So I looked at
Slay
Wander
the
Stop, and I'm like, the game just looks meh. Does not look like. And Little Nightmares 3 it sounds awesome, but it's who knows if it's actually going to come out. That's more of a wild card. But a lot of these are all all debatable.
Yeah, Little Nightmares 3 is that is.
What the hell is 2 Point Museum? I've never even heard of that in my life. But I just keep coming back to this one game because of my love for the classics. And I feel like I gotta go with it. Just kind of go with my guts. I think that's the theme of this one.
Mhm. Let's see. I was looking at
Ninja
that
Gaiden.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I feel
cool
the
one.
same. See, Tim,
I'm
we're
gonna go with my gut.
either on the same wavelength. Or
I mean, and they just put
It just
out a
sucks that I
beta.
draft right before you.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
made me think
the
of
one
is
I'm gonna feel
the
robbed on.
Messenger.
That's a good pick, Tim.
Thank you.
I'm a little salty there.
Sorry,
That was
sorry,
on the
sorry,
watch
sorry.
list.
I have another one in there that's that'll be my hidden game for the end.
Pour one out for me there.
I got you. Here, I got you.
Makes it tough.
Hmm.
Poured one out for you, right into my glass.
Appreciate it.
Wait, did this game go? I'm just not seeing it. Okay, no.
But listen, I'm finishing my basement. Did I tell you guys this? And I'm gonna get a giant ass table down there so we can do some D&D,
Ooh,
some
that'd be fun.
tabletop
Ooh,
games on there.
actually, so here's one for your camera, gentlemen. I am excited for August when I get to go back out to Gen Con and we'll be able to play some Starfinder.
Ooh, nice.
So that's some of
Cool.
that stuff in space. Looking forward to that.
Dude, I didn't know you
If I
went to
could
Gen
draft
Con this
that-
year. I think,
Oh yeah.
dude, if I would have known, I would have sent you with a list of things to get me. I needed
Oh
the-
yeah, no. Ready? I'm going in August. Send me things that you want me to procure for you.
All right. Yeah, there might be some Star Wars promos that you might have to scoop for me. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll try to get them.
The remakes are whack this year, dude.
Yeah.
Holy
We're dying down a little.
Keep in mind that remakes
Yeah.
are so often just announced and released. That's always my strategy. Just like every
Oh, we
year.
don't have to pick that right now.
No,
we have
no,
to
no,
pick
no.
one by the end of
I
the
wanted
year.
to get mine out.
At the end of the year. You don't
Oh,
have to draft
okay.
one right now.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. Well,
I saw
that'll make
Dragon
me
Quest,
log in
and I just
later,
wanted
so
it.
Very safe.
Okay.
Yeah, you got probably the best one
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
board. Yeah, no, you can do whatever you want with your picks this year, for the draft. You don't have to lock in those roster spots.
You just need to make sure you have all those bases covered by the end of the year. Yeah.
Yep. Or else you got a big fat zero there.
Okay. This game does look good. Interesting, like action souls. Like I think I'm gonna do it. Comes out in a couple months. At least I know this is coming out.
It's always nice when you got a date just sitting there for you.
I'm gonna go the first Berserker.
Okay.
It looks good. It looks
Sweet.
good. And at this point, it's worth the risk.
Yeah, so when you get to this point in the draft and you start seeing things that have dates, it's always nice.
So to be noted, 2025 estimated date. There's an Ultimate Sheep Raccoon successor to Ultimate
Ultimate
Chicken
Chicken
Horse.
Horse, yeah.
Ooh,
I love that.
I'm taking it.
I love that game.
Mhm.
That game, that was probably some of the
Oh.
hardest laughing when we did that
Oh
for the
my
stream.
gosh,
It's so good.
Pick is in.
Earthblade?
the
Yeah.
pick is in.
Yeah, that's the next game from the developers behind Celeste. No guarantee that it comes out this year, but if it hits, whoo, she gonna hit.
All right. Yeah, it's risk it for biscuit time. We're gonna go with Borderlands 4.
Whoa,
That is a risky one. That is a risky one.
So I was debating actually going there because I'm confident that's coming out this year. Even Borderlands 3 did fine from a Metacritic standpoint. The first two were killer.
Exactly.
I'm a little
I think-
uneasy about it. Like that's a game where I feel like I'd pick it and it would tank, but Derek's gonna pick it and it'll be game of the year somehow. So
If I
good job,
draft a
Derek.
game of the year, that'll be a hell of a time. And then just for the TTRPG person in me, I'm gonna take Vampire the Masquerade.
All right.
Actually, a great game. The first one.
hmm
So I looked at Earthblade.
It's a successful franchise, so
I could not find anything on a release date, so I was like,
They gave a 2025 window last year
Yeah.
because it was a 2024 window. I'm like, yes, we are bumping next year because I was able to drop it last year and not have to worry about it.
I also looked at Mina the Hollower's other one I really liked, but that's same
That's-
thing. There's zero info.
That's what I thought you were going for earlier. I thought you were.
I
gonna
can't
lock
do
in
it.
Mina.
That's the one I dropped the year that I won. I
Yeah.
emailed them to get them to drop it for me.
Yep.
So we could drop it.
Tim was going after it.
I
Guys.
was once.
It was wild.
I think that out of nowhere in the chat it was like, "Oh, Tim has to draft some games." Like, "Oh shit, I'm still in it." So I just went on. Yep. 2 months later, I'm the winner. Who'd have
You
thought?
win.
It's a strategy.
After
It's a
JT had his meltdown about maybe having that one game count against him, remember that?
Yep, I sure do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The game with the orange line through it. You're talking about?
Yes. This is my
I don't
turn.
know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
No, it's mine. I'm between a couple of things here.
The counter picture.
The counter picks will be fun.
That's what I'm kind of eyeballing now.
Yeah, I mean, I might make it easier for you guys on that, to be honest.
I know where Rashawn's going with his counter pick.
He might not after I do this.
Oh,
No, do I just go safe? I don't know, because I don't want to have to bid for this.
Come
if it
on, champ.
happens.
Go with your gut. Come on. You going
Alright.
for the 3-peat like Pat Mahomes? Let's go. Let's see what you got.
This is the most confident I am about an unannounced game that exists this year.
Ooh.
what do we got? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he ended up doing it. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that there's a very good chance that the Nintendo Switch 2 launches with a Mario Kart game. We haven't seen a new Mario Kart game since 2012. Mario Kart 8 was the last game they published for the Wii
To
U.
be fair, I think when they initially brought up the idea of a new Mario Kart, I think there was chatter about it taking a while. This was probably 2020, 2019. Like, yeah, it would be a launch title for, again, that was like
Switch
the
2.
earliest chatter we ever heard about it.
Yeah, I
But
wanted to look at it. I don't because I'm confident that game's coming out, so I didn't want to have to try to bid for it once it gets announced, possibly Thursday. So I feel good.
Sean and I
about
said
having that.
earlier today, not the Mario Kart.
Not the Mario
not
Kart.
the Mario Kart.
Not the Mario Kart.
All right, I'm gonna go. We'll see about this one. Looks interesting. Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
I don't
That's
think
a
gonna
risky
either.
one.
Do we have a window?
Exists.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's not a game.
That's I think that's super risky, but whatever.
It's a last pick. You gotta be risky.
Mhm.
That's
Can I
not.
get the
That's not a
first
video
pick-
game.
can I get first pick for counter pick too.
Yes, you do.
I'm counter picking the living hell out of that.
The stuff on the board, it's not a bad counter pick. But hey, if it does come out, that Amy Haddock's first game, she's actually going to deliver in 20 years.
Crazy.
I was researching and didn't see what you picked.
He
Oh,
took
Marvel
Marvel.
1943.
Yeah.
All right, here's my pick. Let me see, where is it? Show my watch list. It's a little lower on the totem pole here, but I think it's got generally decent scores every other one that's came out, so I think it's a safe pick.
I'm sorry.
You just made that up. You just paid them to put all those ones there. You just went to a random video game generator and took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 words and put them in. This game was called Altia Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. Get the fuck out of here.
That's not real.
It's got a cult.
That's
Hold on,
You
hold on.
have enough space.
There it is. The
that is
Tim
the most-
special.
The most
Tim
Tim
special.
pick I've ever seen in my entire.
Yes,
I'm crying
I knew
right
it
now.
was coming. I knew it was coming.
That's amazing. I love
Wait,
everything
hang on,
you do.
Rashawn. You knew that game specifically was coming?
Listen, that game's gonna
Well,
be really
not
good,
that
actually.
Okay.
We knew what Tim's special was coming.
Okay. All right.
So the main
not
you
the-
knew it
not
too?
the exact,
I would leave.
and it's
yeah,
gonna
not the
be
exact game.
and it's gonna score like a 92.
It's
Listen.
gonna kill it.
Listen,
That's
As
the
you- as-
frustrating part.
oh, let me.
Real quick, now that I'm thinking about it, actually, I don't know if you do get first pick for counter pick, John. I think it might start bottom. For some
that's
reason, it kind of rings a
unfortunate.
bell. I don't know. We'll see.
Listen, for the record, the last game that came out was Altair Ryza 3, and it reviewed it as an 82.
There's no way that's the
See.
title of the game. It's way too short.
No, it's Altair Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End of this and the Secret Key. It's actually the
Okay, there we go.
It's gotta have that
That's
secret
actually
key.
the name.
It's all these
That's
Wii U
the-
games
that's
he's
the last
talking
game.
about. It's crazy.
How do they fit it on the box? Oh my gosh.
They don't. It's a PC game, and there's
It's
no
done.
box.
Not sure if
They pulled it from Amazon to try to get the title on there.
not sure if a Tim pick or a Fallout Boy song.
Listen, and
Yes.
listen, the only reason I ever heard of these games is because every once in a while I follow Wario on
Yeah.
Twitter, and he'll post the figurines. And the only reason the thighs on these anime chicks are huge.
Oh,
That's where we're about to get beat by.
Yep.
That's gonna win it.
My guy just picked a game
Thick
based on
thighs save
thighs.
lives.
Josiah, go ahead and pick Outer Night, Elder Scrolls, Mario Platformer 2.07.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna do the draft
2.07.
unlisted game, and I'm gonna create that real quick. I don't love this pick. I probably would have picked Borderlands before this, just if I'm only basing it on the past average score for the franchise. I don't. All right, it is what it is. Little Nightmares 3. We're gonna close it out with that.
It's a good pick.
Okay. All right.
It's a great last pick.
Sorry to hear it.
Little Nightmares 3.
All right, ready? I'm gonna put it in the general chat so everyone can see.
All right, I'm gonna go with a new game franchise. Wanderstop.
Wanderstop's a great pick, dude. I wanted that game, but I had to go with the Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, we are absolutely losing to that game, guys.
Wanderstop looks so sweet. It's a cozy coffee shop simulator. Like that game looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool, but just the when I watched a quick YouTube in between, just like the like picking up a lot of stuff they show. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think it's gonna do well. Just how well does it do?
No,
but I was looking at it like 2 or 3 rounds ago. So
Yeah,
For sure.
Counter picking.
Yeah. So it is bottom first for counter picking. I thought that was the case actually.
Yeah.
Rashawn, go check out the general chat.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I saw you.
I'm not sure what's gonna happen here with this. I was gonna pick Assassin's Creed Shadow just to hate on Ubisoft, but I do think that that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, even if it gets like an 82, that's negative 12. You know, that's what's so tough about this.
Well, also personally for me, like I love them telling the tale of Yasuke. So
I do too. Yeah,
like that's going to be probably my favorite thing about it.
Keeps it away from getting you points like a lot. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. So what I'm going to do though is it's going to hurt my heart, Josiah. I don't know if Oblivion Remake comes out this year.
Okay.
that's a good one.
You're in trouble if it does.
I'm in trouble. Absolutely, if it does, I will have lost.
That's every counter pick right now. I think there's really not anything that's safe.
I think every counter pick is a
Yeah, no, this will sink me.
There's no Wolverine here, guys.
No, there's the freebie.
No Wolverine.
Oh well, kind of actually.
There's no Suicide Squad from last year for me.
Yes. Also, not actually a 59. That's ridiculous. It's not bad. That's fine.
It's definitely. So I wonder with. Where am I going with this? Yeah, it's not a good game, but it's not what it got.
I think he should have still got points, but I don't think he should have got 11 points.
No,
Don't worry, South Park ruined
way
me
too
after
much.
that. So
way too much.
Oh, South Park. Yeah.
oh, I was so mad at that.
Stick of truth.
No, the Snow Day one, right?
Yeah, it was the
Was it
Snow Day
that
one.
one?
I just. Oh.
Yes,
All
yeah,
right,
the Stick
John,
of Truth
all right,
and
all
Fractured
right,
Behold made.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that game is good, and I hope it's real.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not
It's a risky
convinced.
one. It's a risky one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Can't
don't
be mad
do
at
it.
it.
I don't love doing that because if that game does come out, I mean, I think there's a good chance that it could tank me, but you never know.
All right, I'm looking at this list. You know what? This year is so risky,
Yeah,
and
for
I'm
sure.
looking at my roster, and I'm just like, man, I don't know.
He's gonna counter pick
I
himself.
don't know.
Can
I was actually gonna.
you do that?
ask
No,
about
you
that.
can't.
You can't.
How great would that be?
You pick a game that's bad just to get more points off the counter pick.
I'm gonna do this pick because I need to keep that same energy. Not that I've put this in any of our chats, but in my personal life and even thinking to myself, I'm just every time I think about this game, I'm like, it's not coming out. So I'm not just because we're in this format and we're live. I'm not gonna change my. I'm not gonna divert.
Right here. I know he's about to swing.
Yep. And I'm keeping the same energy. Let's do it. It is what it is.
Do it.
I don't think it's coming out.
Do it.
I don't think it's coming out.
Oh man!
I don't think it's coming out.
Listen,
And I'm real, and I'm willing to risk the biscuit.
Get ready for negative 33 points if it does.
Yeah.
Oh no!
The one from JT's the day
Here we
before
go.
is you can only get negative 20. The system
I'm
feels
taking
bad
the
for you.
easy pick.
Oh,
This
right,
feels
right.
bad for you.
Let's just see.
What do we got? What do we got?
I picked Vampire the
Vampire?
Masquerade Bloodlines too.
Okay. Man, do I make it interesting and go after Rashawn here for a spicy story? That's
What
not
would
a
you
good
pick? He already picked
Metroid Prime.
Oh,
Do it.
Metro. Yeah, Metro.
I feel good
Oh,
about
man.
Metroid. I feel better about Metro than I do about Metroid than I do about Mario 3D platformer.
Let's talk about that Mario
Man,
Kart.
man.
Whopper. Sorry.
We do need another Mario Kart, though, man. It's like one of
It's-
those picks where it's just like like, come on,
It
like,
makes
Yeah,
too
I
much
mean-
sense for it to launch
I
with the
agree.
Switch. Because if
come
it
on,
does,
Switch 2.
Dude.
An easy way to start that trend. Well, the easy way to kick off the Switch 2 to almost make it because again, look at the business that we're in, right? Everyone's chasing unlimited revenue, unlimited growth. Where's the only way to go but up from the Switch, which is going to be the best-selling console ever? Release that baby with a Mario Kart launch. Come on,
Like,
come on,
it's
first year.
If they can pull it off, it's going to be the best launch of a console of all time.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not counterpicking that. I would have I was actually going to add it to my free agent list because I didn't think any of y'all was going to have the grapes to take it.
You know, I'm sick of getting counterpicked here. All right, let's see.
JT counterpick him.
Do it. You won't.
Just say half of his roster's
one
just
that I
locked
Do
in.
it. Lock me in.
That Hollow
You're
Knight,
taking
man.
away some
Oh,
of my
no.
decisions.
Mario
Right,
might be the best kind of big left from the board.
No, Silk Song.
Also,
Ghost of
there's-
Yote, I don't believe is coming out, but
You're
I
number
don't feel
two.
confident
I
to counterpick
don't think
that.
Silk Song actually exists.
No,
they're lying.
that game's gonna be a 98 when it comes out, though, bro.
I know, seriously.
What
Silk
is-
Song.
Silk Song? Silk Song. 100%,
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You don't.
I don't. I'm
Yeah,
debating
I
going
don't
with
think that's coming out.
a title that I think could slip into 26, but is a wild card on its own, or an established franchise that I'm like, okay, that's probably like a safe counter pick. I might lose a few points, but that's it. So that's what my head's at right now.
Are you on Mafia for that established one?
That's the only thing that makes sense from what he said. That's what I was.
No,
That's the vibe I got.
Assassin's Creed.
Borderlands. Are.
Oh,
I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Oh yeah, Borderlands is on the man between that movie, between this game.
There's
I don't
no
know,
way they
man.
mess up. Borderlands is what did the 3 review?
Or that movie. They
Okay.
should have made it, but
It was okay. Like I would get a few negative points for it, I think, if it was like that.
It's 3 got a 77.
So it's
I
not
just
that
don't
bad
know.
of a bet.
I just don't know if anyone cares about Borderlands anymore.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
Yep.
I don't like
But
it
at
could
the-
come
at
out
the
and it
sa-
just be meh.
At the same time, if people not caring about it, that's more reception than it is reviews.
course.
You know.
Actual critic review.
Yeah. So it's.
I don't see
it's-
critics getting excited about it. Is how I should put that.
But what are they going to do with the formula? Do we really believe that they're going to do anything with the formula of the game that's that different from what it has been?
Yeah. Probably not.
Where games have perfected it a little bit better. I don't
From
know.
everything I hear about it, they're bringing back more of the old school stuff from 1 and 2. I don't know what that actually looks like, but
Right.
or if it even hits now, if it comes out in 2025. Fable's the other one for me. I think that could be a really good game. I don't know that that's coming out this year with everything else that we think is coming for Xbox.
Agreed.
So, man. All right.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff on paper that makes sense, but man, it's just risky.
Yep.
Risky business.
All right. Pick is in.
The pick is in.
Fable. Okay.
Okay. All
Go
right.
with Fable.
Cap
I don't
us
think
off
that's
here,
coming.
John.
I think there's a busy year for Xbox.
You know
coming
what's
ahead.
gonna be crazy is if a lot of this stuff comes out, we could be looking at some negatives.
Yeah, and we still have
Well, that's the
to.
thing.
We
I think
also
it's
have
about
to
finding
add
at least
another one. So
first
Yeah, this year you have no choice. You gotta if you want a prayer when you gotta have to add. There's no getting away with. Well, not that I got away with not logging in, but especially this year, there's
The
not.
counter
The
pick is
strength
about
of the draft
the
roster
least-
is not going to be as strong as years past.
Yeah.
the counter pick here is the lesser of all evils, right? Like,
Yeah.
which one am I gonna you're hoping for a delay, but you're also hoping just to, okay, is this game coming out? Is it safe? Is it going to be close to 75?
It's gonna hurt me the least.
Exactly.
This is terrible.
So JT, you was gonna pick Marvel for me, so I wonder what you're gonna pick now.
Come on, come to my list. Let's make it 3.
Hey, same here.
We should
I
just
could
all
make
commit
an
to
argument
You
that
have no one to
Josiah's
talk to,
whole
Mr.
list could be
Josiah.
counterpicked.
My whole list could be
His whole
counterpicked.
team could.
Literally everything on Josiah's list is somewhat risky in some way or another. Maybe besides
Nothing?
Outer Worlds.
Nothing has a
can't
release
see-
date on
so
my
I-
list.
I
Except
thought
Outer
about-
Worlds, yes.
There's no last date, but no,
It is a window.
But it's probably the most confident in releasing at least on your list.
Agreed.
I
So
agree.
I thought about Pokemon only because I don't know. They can't go 2 straight years with nothing. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
there's
Yeah,
no
don't do
way.
that.
They already
Then we
have.
switch
it.
them.
Actually, no, do it. Do it.
Yeah, lock half my roster and do it.
Like, they literally are not allowed to. They have to literally put these games out when the new card sets come out. So they're not allowed to not put a game out.
Yeah, it's going to be coming out. It's going to be a matter of the strength.
They
of it.
literally have to time their game releases around a new season of the anime, a new card set. Like they don't have a choice. That game has to come out.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah, the
I'll-
anime still is going on. Good.
I'm looking at my
There's a new
roster, and there's a
Oh.
legitimate chance I could go one of 2 ways. I could set an all-time record for points for, or actually get a negative score.
100%. It's possible.
I 100%. Yes.
Yes. So now, just some
All
more,
right,
some more
here,
clarification on some of the rules. Like, if a game is announced and confirmed to not come out, you can drop it. You have unlimited drops of games that aren't going to come out. So, like, if tomorrow Holiday Silk Song gets announced that, like, no, it's definitely getting pushed to 2026, Josiah can drop that game free as long as it's not already counterpicked. If someone counterpicks your game, it's locked on your roster. But if there's a game on your roster
Okay.
that's not counterpicked, and it gets confirmed.
critical.
Yep. Now you have one super drop basically. A super drop just means like you can drop anything. You just don't feel good about a game anymore unless it was counterpicked. Counterpick locks the drops.
So I'm stuck with Marvel.
You are stuck with Marvel no matter what.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Can you
I am
drop a
going-
counterpick?
No, you're
No,
locked.
counterpicks are locked in.
No, I mean like
I know what you
If-
mean.
J. Okay.
You can't drop
Oh,
your own
I see.
counterpick.
No, I see. No. I see where Josiah's going. If JT counterpicks something from Joe's, can JT get rid of that
You can't
counterpick?
counterpick something. No. You can't
Okay,
like,
so a
drop your
counterpick is
counterpick.
locked on both sides.
100%.
Okay.
Okay, got
You
it.
lay your bet and you get in it.
Yep.
All right, I'm going with the 3D platformer because I trust that John's right about Mario, and I doubt they released 2 Mario games the same year.
Let's
So-
go.
Hey John, I'm so glad you told me before we got on that you're gonna try to con JT into doing that.
That's funny. No, that would be my next counterpick, to be honest. All right, fellas, we're locked in here. We've got our rosters.
Oh, we don't do the other counterpick right now. We
No,
do that.
no, that's not drafted. You can do it right now. You can go in free agency and you can
Okay.
counterpick something right now if you want to, but you'd be smart to wait a little bit.
Yeah, projected
for sure.
for
I
fifth
will say-
place.
This is my first draft having nothing counterpicked. In the
Wow,
in the
JT
draft.
is a
That is
perfect
good.
list. Pretty impressive, to be honest.
No one counterpicked me either.
Probably gonna end up
Where
last again,
JT's
but
at?
I'll take the anti-counter picks.
No,
Well, yeah, Josiah
there's
got
three
Oh,
three,
yeah,
and I
no,
got
J-
2.
Yeah, there's-
JT has the safest roster.
There's 3 teams that didn't get counterpicked from. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Yeah, because Josiah's got half of them, and I got 2.
That's very true.
Derek and I have over
JT
80% of them.
I think JT
That'll
has the
do it.
safest roster.
Yeah,
Well,
but
folks-
blood. The two,
It's the
like, we're
total
locked
opposite
in.
of last year.
I think there's some really nice like every team's definitely got a strategy, right? But like there's good quality across the board. I would say like there seems to be a nice balance if we assume things come out. Why don't we go through real quick though? Just talk about how we're feeling. Immediate reaction with our teams. JT, we'll just go to you first. How do you feel about your roster here?
Did you say JT?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you feel about your roster?
I think someone said it perfectly, right? I think it's safe compared to last year. I took a lot of risks because there wasn't really a. So I'll say this: I say we were all talking about potentials of negatives and counterpicks we can and can't do. I think there were a lot of games to select for all of us this year compared to last year, at least initially. I think you guys talked about like 2024 being a good year overall as far as games that came out, but for like we were all very grim last year in the beginning, like. There's slim pickings. We can't, we're not gonna be able to find good games.
remember,
Overall, I
yeah.
think we found some decent stuff. for
I
all of us.
remember. Yep.
I think this was more difficult for me at least, but going through my team, I feel there's a lot of risk involved, right? High risk, high reward. So we'll see what happens. Little Nightmares 3 is a boring pick, but it's what you'd expect for the 6th round, I would say. Fable, I feel okay with that counter pick. if the game comes out, I think it's going to be a very good game, and that could really ruin me. I am so curious about GTA 6. Like, what is that going to look like if that gets a release date for this year? My gosh, it's going to be chaos, Rashawn.
That could shift the rest of the industry. Like there are games that don't have announced release dates that are waiting to see if GTA hits, and if GTA hits, like some of that stuff's going to slip into 2026.
That was actually a report like 3 weeks ago. Some publishers and developers they're waiting until they announce a release date to announce their stuff. Yes.
100%.
Tim, how you feeling about your team?
I feel pretty good. I feel like there's a couple of question marks here, but I feel like it's a boomer bust mentality with a lot of my stuff, But I feel like solid overall.
Like Ghost of Yotai, I believe that's coming out like confidently. I think that's going to be very, very, very high on the list. I think Elden Ring is going to be the same thing. So those are 2 out of the park picks. And then if Metal Gear Solid comes out, which I think it's going to, that's going to be great too.
And Slay the Spire 1 reviewed at like a 90. I think Altier is like a solid, like maybe 80 pick. Nothing crazy, but I feel like I just take a layup. So we'll kind of see what happens. So I'm excited.
Sure. I think it's a good list. Rashawn, how you feeling about yours here? We got a little of everything, I think.
Yeah, I was scrolling through. I think my roster. This goes both ways. I think my roster has the. What's the word I'm looking for? Ignitability. I think my roster can go nuclear in either way, positive or negative. I could see a world where Metroid Prime 4 comes out. Like a Dragon, we know is safe. I think Mafia, all the buzz around it seems good. We'll see how the critics score it. I know it's historically not the best critic, but everyone's been waiting for a new Mafia, so let's see how that goes. First Berserker, that's the kind of the one that's kind of a little out there, but looks like an interesting Souls-like, and Souls-likes are all the rage. But listen, that GTA 6 pick,
that counter pick, baby.
It's make or break.
I'm keeping the same energy. If anyone that I've talked to personally, anytime I'm just reflecting, in my head about games for 2025, I don't see it, and I think this game is doomed for a delay. Personally, do I hope I'm wrong? Of course, but now that I'm invested in it, I hope I'm right.
I feel like
a little bit.
Expedition 33 looks like it's going to be like the next, like, I could see Expedition 33 coming out, and I can see the headlines now of, like, this is besides Persona and Metaphor, like, from Atlas. I could see that being a game that like really revitalizes the turn-based genre. It has the style, it has the graphics. It looks like it has very intriguing gameplay. I think I have the roster to win, but I also think I have the roster to be like the lowest scoring team. So we'll see. And I think GTA 6 is going to determine it, and that is a strategy of mine, because I knew the roster of what I picked was so iffy that I'm pretty much putting all my cards on this. Does GTA 6 come out this year? We'll see.
For sure. The thing is, too, I would say, like, if I'm thinking from my perspective, obviously that's a big loss. You want your first overall pick to really kill it. John's had Hollow Knight for a few years and drafted and signed free agents, if you will, in a very nice way. Like, he knows what he's doing there. He's won a few championships. I'm hoping to follow some of that template. So we'll see what happens.
And one last thing on my part. Sorry to interrupt you. I also think for me this year, I really have to be, one, active, but two, I have to really be smart in the free agent market, because I think that could also add some layers. But just speaking on the first bit of the draft here, but free agency, I think, is going to be huge for all of us this year.
Free agency is very interesting because there's 2 ways to go about it. You can be safe, and you can just look for games that are going to come out for sure, and just get your roster packed with games that are for sure going to come out. Or you can pick and choose. You can leave your roster blank until the holiday season when all the big bangers are going to be coming out, and try to scoop some of those, like Tim's done a couple of years in a row, where Tim goes in October and he doesn't have a single free agent ad yet, but all of a sudden he wins the league because he made some good picks. There's something to it for sure.
Yeah. So my take on the Grand Theft Auto pick, I don't love it. It's a lot of risk for a 0-point reward. That's my personal opinion on it.
It also locks Josiah into a 0.2.
Yeah, but Josiah hasn't won, so I wouldn't really be worried about Josiah. I'm worried about John.
Wow. Oh,
man, not nice.
Told us how he felt. He told us how
Listen,
he
you gotta
felt.
win.
Dang,
John, how
man,
does it feel to be a
I
winner?
wasn't gonna go there, but okay.
My New Year's resolution is to be a positive fantasy opponent, except in hockey fantasy.
Basically this week, GT or JT.
GT, JT,
GT.
I did not set my lineup today.
I don't think you did. Got a good start.
John, how are we feeling
Not
about your
going
team?
well, buddy.
I feel pretty good. I did not like a mock draft, but once we set our roster spots, I kind of just went through and looked at how everything would land, and this went almost exactly how I planned it. So I feel good about that. The fact that I didn't really have to make any kind of big decisions or kind of divert from the games that I thought were going to be on my roster. So I feel good about that. Top of the list with Doom and with Split Fiction, I think those are two like easy 85 plus for me to start things off. Rift the Necrodancer, it has an early date this year. The last game that came out was like 90, so I feel good about that too. Everything else is kind of up in the air though when it comes to South of Midnight. That game looks cool, looks really stylish. Does it hit this year? One, I think it does. And two, what does it look like score wise? The last game that they put out was good but not great. Obviously big question mark there. Like that game might not come out for another 3 years. It might come out this summer. We truly have no clue. Small team there. In Mario Kart, it's always scary to have something unannounced on your roster. Josiah has 2 of them this year, but it's never a great feeling to see a game unannounced on your roster. But I feel pretty good that
from a business sense, like we just talked about, it makes like it's easy to look at the pick and be like, ooh, but then when you really think about it, it makes too much sense. Too much sense.
If back in 2017, when Nintendo was launching the Switch, if they saw how like development times were lining up with Mario Kart, their next Mario Kart, like this had to have been in the cards forever if it's going to happen. And I think that it could be a big one. But other than that, I feel pretty good.
I bid on Astrobot last year before it was announced.
Yep.
I just next Astro mainline game. There was enough smoke. There was no way it wasn't coming out. Got announced a week later. Boom. High scoring game. So I think there's definitely a strategy there. And John, I do think the Marvel 1943 is this year's Wolverine. Not quite as intense.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm being transparent, I regretted that the second I picked it.
we all have that one. We all have that one.
I talked myself into it to pick it based on where the list was. I can't remember if Little Nightmares 3 was available. I almost wish I switched, but
I don't think it was.
I'm gonna live with it. We're gonna see, and I'll make up for it in free agency.
At the end of the day, it's not that bad of a pick. It's if the game comes out, it's going to be probably pretty good. Like it's an Amy Hennig joint. Like it's like the game. It's
Marvel
cool. It's
Rivals.
a cool idea.
People are back into it right now. So.
Oh, dude, Marvel Rivals just
very true.
On Overwatch, stole the whole fan base.
I feel like that's like a rebirth Marvel in general for like a video game. I would have never pictured myself playing a Marvel game.
Besides
Spider-Man. Besides Spider-Man. Besides Spider-Man.
Yeah, besides that, like
it's in its own
characters.
bucket. Yeah. I know what you mean, Tom.
Yeah. Well, you always know what I mean. We're on the same wavelength. Of course you know.
Spider-Man sells
doesn't make it right.
What you do. Yeah.
I mean, I'll go the other way and say that Marvel Games hasn't really missed in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Last but not least, Derek, how you feeling?
I feel like I went in a different direction than I usually do this year, where I tried to more or less look for things that could be a little bit more on the reliable side. Like I know that Pokemon Legends is going to come out. I know that Civ 7 is going to be a game that probably gets a little more fairly receptive. I was a little less on the IPs that I like and I enjoy, but more on things though that would be possibly risky, but hopefully pay off a little bit here. I think though that looking at the list for this draft, nobody was going to get their stalwart, I don't think, coming into this one with the draft. So free agency is going to be real fun for this year, especially because of the holding pattern where, as Rashawn said, there's going to be a lot of waiting and holding on for GTA 6.
Derek, I think that Civ 7 at the last pick in the first round is probably the best value pick in the draft. Like I don't think that there's going to be a better value pick than that. Like that's
I kind of ran to the podium with my first two.
Yeah, for sure. I passed on it because I was just very, very confident in Doom. But man, very, very likely Sid Meier's Civ 7 could come out and score 10 more points than freaking Doom.
Yeah.
I think it's also safe to say too. Again, we'll see. I don't see a remake coming out this year better than, I mean, Metal Gear we'll see, but I think that Dragon Quest pick, I really
Yeah.
considered that. I think at number for my third pick, and then I went in a different. I went Mafia instead. Again, not that you gotta, the roster has to be good. It's not like, oh, there's a category for remake, but that was a really good
I
pick,
went a
believe.
little less on the IPs that I take to heart, and more into trying to look at it
The
a
game.
little bit of this.
It's
I
tough.
actually tried to strategize this year.
It's tough. You start, you pull up a list of video games, and the first thing you think about is like, what games am I excited to play? And I've certainly fallen victim to that. I mean, it's always
Still
kind
incredibly
of
salty
worked out
that
for me,
we
but
couldn't do this a week or two before, because I would have been racing to the podium for Dynasty Warriors. I
Yeah.
had texted Josiah immediately, like, are trades possible? And then I saw that game could not get drafted, and I'm like, now
Yeah.
I'm mad.
that
I
happened
was
last
gonna
year.
vote
on
Tim.
Open Critic.
What was it?
I was
Was it like a dragon last year? Infinite Wealth, I think, was the name that we missed. That was a big one. I think it was an
Yes,
early
it was.
January game, and we missed that one. So what do you got? I think it was like the day before. I want to say we did our draft on like a Tuesday. And
It was close.
I think it was the day before. I think Monday the reviews dropped, and we did the draft on Tuesday.
It was within a few days. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff, fellas. Derek, I love it. Civ 7's a can't miss. Pokemon will do well. Dragon Quest is great. I think you have a good shot here. Fable, obviously, if that comes out, that's going to be very good. I'm confident in, but I counterpicked it thinking it's going to get pushed to 2026. So we shall see. There's a lot of drama and intrigue around the draft here.
hanging on a certain Rockstar game.
For sure. There's some good counter picks. A lot of swinging for the fences here across the board. So we'll see where it goes. John, anything before we close up shop here?
No, I mean, all that's really left is that, man, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon, fellas. We got 6 more games to add to our list. We got another counter pick to make, so it's going to be fun. I can't wait till, I mean, we've got an Xbox showcase coming up this week, or, Xbox Developer Direct coming up this week. We've got a rumored Nintendo Switch 2 announcement coming this week, which might just be a hardware reveal. We might do a different event for a software reveal, but we've got games that are about to get announced, and a good amount of them are probably going to come this year. Not to mention our summer game fests, our opening night lives, like all of these events that are going to come. Like what's cool about fantasy.
There's going to be a PlayStation
showcase.
PlayStation Direct. So showcase. Direct.
Yeah, that's going to happen. What I love about doing the Fantasy Critic is that every time I get excited for one of these showcases, which I already love, I'm also excited to see what I can add to my roster. So it's like double down on that hype. It's the best.
I wish we could draft TTRPGs.
I mean, you can write it in, see what happens.
Yeah.
I have made Fantasy Critic an app on my phone. You can make a little web browser your app. I've made it a favorite tab on my PC and my MacBook. There is no excuse. I will be active.
How do you do this app thing?
Nice.
That means
I saw it was something you could actually like if you're using it on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
There is something that can prompt you to say download the app, and
it's add to home screen, and it makes a web browser app.
For sure. The key, as we know, is free agency. It's maybe more important than drafting, because you can kind of make up for that if you stick with it.
I almost guarantee whoever wins will have had a successful free agency. I don't think whoever wins is going to win solely based on, well, you just drafted your best top 3. I don't think so.
Right.
Usually
see,
not.
but
Usually not. The numbers shake out where the biggest games are picked up after they're announced, and whoever bids the right amount for them. So that's where some of the drama comes in throughout the year.
And we have $100 total to work with. So if I bet $50 on one game, I only have $50 for the rest of the calendar year to work with. I don't have like another.
But those marquee games might be worth investing half of that for, because then you can pick and choose a little bit later on games that I only have to spend $4 here because, like, say Josiah filled the rest of his roster out already before September. Then I can go ahead and try to add some games later on toward the holidays.
Copy. Yep. Cool.
That's exactly John's strategy in taking Mario Kart. He thinks reasonably that's going to come out and be worth it, and he didn't want to bid on it. So it's worth the risk there to save some of that budget, if nothing else, right? So, all right, fellas, and everyone in the live stream, thanks so much for checking us out here for the 2025 Geekiverse Fantasy Critic Draft. Drama, Rashawn?
There is one more thing we forgot to kind of go over right now. Again, we'll see what free agency. Him, I feel like this always happens, is projected to win I am projected to be last. JT
I'm
projected
in
JT projected 2, John projected 3rd, Josiah projected 4th, and then Derek projected 5th. Again, free agency, but those are the early projections.
Yeah, the projections are bizarre because they factor in. It goes off of like a hype factor, so it factors in like whether or not they think the game will come out too. So it's like it's really just based on numbers. Projections are insane in this, but it's obviously worth looking at. And we're all in the same field. We all have the same amount of games right now, so I think it's worth looking at.
I'd be
right
curious
now.
what the projections were at the start of the draft last year and how they finished, like who.
Yeah.
And the year before, like what did they actually shape out as?
Right. I'm sure we could look at that. We can probably look at last year's video and see at the end of the draft what the projections were. But yeah, might be interesting to see how it shook out.
John's right. Like it's not like it's a formula that doesn't really add up. So like in the hockey, which is what I know, like it will project Austin Matthews to score 50 goals, and that equates to this many fantasy points for hockey, right? So for this, it's kind of like it's not saying whether a game is gonna. Is it coming out? Is it going to score this? Like, there's a few things there that I don't think totally line up, but still, it's something to measure for sure. So, again, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll keep everyone posted throughout the year on social media and through other Geekiverse content. Really good to be back here in the new year with all of you all in 2025. For Derek, JT, Tim, Rashawn, and John, I'm Josiah. Thank you again. Happy belated New Year, and good luck, fellas.
Peace.
All right, the recording's done. We're still live. So just to talk about projections real quick, Grand Theft Auto is projected to score 13 points. You're telling me you think it's going to be an 83?
Never mind.
Yeah, that sounds light if it releases.
Yeah,
if it comes out, it's not doing that.
Yeah. It's not scoring 83. Like,
never mind.
Yeah, so
I wasted an additional 5 minutes.
No, it was what we're talking about. It's just silly. Like, yeah, how did Silk Song estimated or projected points 10? You think Silk Song's gonna toss up an 80? Come on, there's some weird stuff factoring in there.
They should just do a projection based on like assuming this game comes out.
I think that's
good enough.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing because
it doesn't add up at all.
Projected points, it says about 15 for Monster Hunter Wilds,
but like it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So what would that score be?
85. So that one tracks, but GTA with a 13, you think it's going to score an 83? What a conservative projection for the game that's, people setting release dates because they don't want to be near.
Yeah, like they should factor in, I think, math based on like prior entries.
Right.
Maybe come up with an average or something like that.
Yeah, I have no clue where they get that. Again, how did Silk Song projected at 10 points? An 80 for Silk Song? That might be the worst projection of all time. Like, what are you talking about?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So silly. Good stuff, fellas.
Yeah, that was fun. That flowed nicely, I thought, which is sometimes a challenge with a big group,
with 6 people,
especially draft. So really good job to everyone there. That was a lot of fun.
Hour and a half, maybe. That was nice and tight for as long as it could have been.
Yeah.
I have a quick question before folks log off.
Yep.
I'm being objective. But even being objective, I think this is the Bills' year. I'm not being classic Bills fan. I think Baltimore comes to town. I think we beat them. We get revenge for week 3. I think that was week 3.
Week 5.
And week 5. It's all about Kansas City. I think that really is the Super Bowl. Kansas City, Buffalo. I think that's it. But how are we feeling about the Bills? I haven't talked to y'all about this.
I hate my entire life right now, having to cover this team because for 2 months this MVP discussion made me want to like stab myself with a spoon.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because Bills fans and Ravens fans decided to have no sense of objectivity and no appreciation for the other player, and it turned
Lamar's
into
that
dude is absolutely not only worthy of winning it, but should win it. And Bills fans just cannot seem to accept Josh Allen not winning the MVP. And I feel like Lamar Jackson, the writers screwed up so badly last year, I think, that Lamar Jackson shouldn't pay for that. Like, yeah, he got the MVP last year, but the writers were so weird last year because it was that and the Comeback Player of the Year award that they duffed it. And Jackson playing the way that he has this year, he should win it.
The only argument Josh really has is he did more with less, but Lamar was so
Totally.
good this year, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, he was
Yeah.
so good this year.
This
I
is
love Lamar. I wanted Lamar on the Bills in
interesting.
that
Okay,
draft.
this is
Yeah.
why I asked.
It's
love
also
him.
Yeah.
it's also so hard to quantify what more with less means. What are you talking about? Like Pro Bowl caliber players, the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, because you got Derrick Henry.
But it really is that, right?
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's just
most of the All-Pro guys that are on the Ravens were defense.
the arguments
And
for
they make Lamar
Josh.
play better, literally.
Right, the arguments for Josh just get too subjective too quickly.
And also, Bills fans on the whole seem to hate any disparagement that goes toward the team, even if it's correct
Well,
criticisms.
Logical Bills fans will say, like, I hear the Lamar won it last year argument because that's what Josh is this year, right?
Mhm.
So that if you go off of that, then yes, it should be Josh, but we should just reverse all of it.
Yeah.
and
There's
act
no
like
doubt.
that don't exist. Lamar's better.
Yeah, like in 2020, Josh Allen had his statistical best season. He didn't win it because Aaron Rodgers played unconsciously for the last time ever, apparently. But that's what happens. Like sometimes you have great years. Drew Brees never won a single MVP. If I asked Bills fans, "Hey, would you take Drew Brees' career for Josh Allen?"
Nah.
There would be a large amount of yeses because
I mean,
there's
I'll
a
take
Super
a
Bowl.
Super Bowl and some of the best
Right.
statistics of all time.
One of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Yeah.
Ain't nobody.
Give me one.
Ain't
I
nobody.
told everybody, give me one, and I probably don't even need to watch them again. Like I just want to see one Super Bowl. Man.
Here's
I
my
think
take,
he-
man. I'm so happy that Josh Allen has brought playoff football consistently back to Buffalo. Even if
All right.
I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad
No,
Think
about
about
this.
the
I'm
record
mad.
he broke.
I'm just
not mad at
saying,
all.
like, I'm okay.
Of course I do. Josh Allen is the best thing
You
that
can't
ever
be
happened to
mad.
Buffalo sports.
I say it at work all the
Not
time.
just
and
playoff
People
football,
think I'm settling.
marketability.
Yeah,
Yes.
big time. Big
People
time. Like
know
he's a
about
true
when,
superstar.
like out here, especially like in
There
the
are
Bay
kids
Area
across
when I
the
lived
country
in
that
LA.
want to. Yeah, there are kids across
No
the
one
country
knew-
that want to be Josh.
Right. Yes. No one knew about Buffalo like they do now without Josh Allen. Buffalo
Not in our
Bills.
lifetime.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So he-
like I was 0 through 4 age when they went to those Super Bowls. So I didn't get that. I was 9, I think, the last time they made the playoffs until they did. I say it all the time, and I come across as settling. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Like enjoy this while it lasts. And I don't want to, settle for anything less than a Super Bowl. But this is such a blast. It's so much fun. Like that we're complaining that Josh isn't winning the MVP. We should be so lucky. Like,
I
let's
agree.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
Tyrod
here's-
Taylor
I will
days.
say, like, we're not going to be the Patriots dynasty, the 22 years and multiple
No one is.
Super Bowl.
No.
No one is,
I
but
don't
we
think
will
so.
get 22 years of dominance. Like, dominance doesn't have to be a Super Bowl championship, right? Like,
For sure.
13
we
and
will wa-
3
we will be
seasons,
watching
like
a
the
good team until
12
Josh is 40. Right?
12 to
If-
13 win
barring
Buffalo
health.
Bills teams.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
we're
Yes.
always. You have Josh, you're going to have a good season, and what really the playoffs is the luck of the draw, right?
Been the
Sometimes
best team in the
hottest,
AFC East
healthiest.
for half a decade. Like that's pretty sick.
Can you
Literally.
imagine thinking
Bound
about
to
that
happen
7
again
or
for
8
the
years
next
ago?
5 years, right?
No.
Getting crazy.
Yeah, watching us squeak by because Andy Dalton carried us to, like,
Right.
Yes.
Like, I would not have imagined this.
So here's
No.
here's my issue with the MVP talk. Is it's not that I don't agree. Yeah, you're good there. It's not that I don't agree. I think the issue like that I have that a lot of other fans probably have is it's the lack of any type of recognition of what the Bills have done in general every year. No Pro Bowlers, no like you think about like how well our offensive line is played. Like it's just all this stuff that we hear about. Like part of the issue with me is like, oh, now Josh in the running, and now we're changing what it was last year, or we're not recognizing any of the other players that are on his team if they are as good as they say. Like it's frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's this way every year.
Like, frustrating.
Yeah, I think that has to do with again what I said with Lamar Jackson shouldn't have this season pay the
Agreed.
price for last season's voting because
But again, not even putting him into the equation, just as a Bills fan in whole,
Yeah.
like no matter who it was,
Not seeing the
that's my
accolades.
issue.
But that's
Yeah.
so my thing, and I'm not the big. You guys know McDermott pisses me off a lot for other
Same.
reasons.
No, same. I'm right with you on that.
Specific
JT.
in-game decisions shit, right? Like he's a great
Yeah.
culture guy. He
Yes,
brings
he
the team
is.
together.
Yes.
I love
I tell
everything
people
about
that
him.
all the
but
He knows a lot
time.
of players.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I will say, with the lack of accolades we've had as a team for the past 5 years, him not winning Coach of the Year is a freaking crime, right?
Just think of all the
Because you're
records he's-
telling us that we have
Yeah.
no All Pros and no Pro Bowlers, so he's taking those scraps into 13
And Josh is a turnover machine, but we still win 13 games a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So by that
I mean,
logic,
that's
JT, like
coaching.
Josh,
That's
right, like-
coaching.
I agree. Like should have had
just
one. Should have
frustrating.
had one.
It's just like it's all these. It's like you're good because of this, but there's no recognition on what this is, and it's just been like that nonstop, where it's like consistently like, the changing, and it just I can't even be on Twitter because I think Lamar is an amazing player and he has just as much right to win the award as Josh does. But it's just like I feel like everything's always like the Bills aren't whatever the Bills are doing well. It's not that the Bills are doing well in that area. It's because some other area is the reason they're winning. And then it's like, come on, like pick a lane.
Yeah,
So-
like it's an excuse that they're doing well. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they just got
Yeah.
lucky here. Or this went well, and
Right.
it shouldn't have. And it's silliness.
I mean, yeah,
So that's the
of
MVP.
Bills-
So that's the MVP. Can the Bills win the Super Bowl this year?
course they can.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
Of course they can.
Yes.
Can they?
Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
more bold. Will they win? Will they win?
I don't know, man. We know we can beat Kansas City. We've done
One
it.
game at a time.
Can we
So
do it in the
Super Bowl
playoffs?
or this week?
No, one game at a time. I'm
game at a
talking
time.
to Buffalo people about football for the first time in like a year. I talk to these California people. I want predictions from Buffalonians. Are we beating
the Ravens?
Baltimore? Are we beating Baltimore next week? Yes or no? I say yes.
I have no
I think
fucking
we
clue. No clue. Like,
So,
yeah,
look, I think
Flip a
both
coin.
teams-
I'm gonna say no.
It's a coin flip. It's 50-50.
yeah,
It really is.
it's
We have the two best quarterbacks playing right now.
yes,
The
correct.
two best quarterbacks are in this game. Who's going to play better that night? That's all it comes down to.
Yep.
I'm saying
It's a-
no, and it mostly has to do with the fact that the Bills' run defense typically is not good.
But for the first time, we had a
And-
running game that can compare.
Right.
But
That used to be
problem-
the thing for
my
the
big
Bills
problem is
like, we
this.
don't have the O line, we don't have the run game. We have that now.
It's the
They should
slow
be just as
starts.
worried as us.
If they start slow again, it's going to be 35-10. They
Yep.
cannot start slow again like they did with Denver. You cannot get away with that against Baltimore. You can't get away with it like they're playing the Jets or the Patriots. Those games, they didn't start out quick either. And they've done this for more than half the year.
I think the Bills are going to have to play the offense specifically are going to have to play their best to win the Super Bowl.
You don't think the defense? You're not scared about that defense? The defense?
When you got Josh, no matter, man. Throw up 40. Like that's your
It's true.
job. You
That's
are arguably
Baltimore's defense
the
has been
MVP.
bad this year,
He's playing so
Yeah.
well that if the defense allows 40, he'll get 42 or 45.
And the offense as a
or-
whole will, because
yeah.
again, we can run. We have the best offense.
Yeah.
James Cook is
for the
balling,
first time
Jimmy.
ever.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
JT saying it. Appreciate the Fat Boys because the Fat Boys are getting it done this year. Best in the league with
man.
limiting sacks. They allowed 14 in 17 games this year.
It's,
That, like Trubisky didn't even get touched, and he
It is-
started
it's
he
funny
played a whole game.
it's funny because people hated McDermott saying, "Well, we gotta win in the trenches. We gotta have a run game." He
Got to
didn't
win in
say
the trenches.
take the ball out of Josh's hands. He said, "Help Josh not get beat the hell up every game."
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Let our maulers do that. Let our 6 offensive linemen. Alec Anderson threw a defensive end into the sidelines 4 times. Like that's our 6th
Yeah.
offensive line guy.
What
Like, that's
frustrates
who
me
they are.
is I watched the Deion Dawkins talking about how he didn't become an All Pro or whatever, and it's not. It bugs him, that's just frustrating.
That's just should use it.
Yeah.
It bugs
Use
all
it.
of them, and the big boys are the reason that they do well on offense and on defense. Their defensive line consistently has been why they get eliminated. They are not consistent. They are not very productive
I would
in the
say
tougher
in
games.
the playoffs, though, you can say that both sides of the line were horrible in the postseason when it mattered, right? Like we couldn't run the ball to help Josh it off for the
Right.
offense, right? We can do that this year. Like that's the difference.
Yes.
That's the difference.
I think,
see.
though,
I mean,
that-
it's a coin flip, literal coin flip, 50-50 to me.
I
100%.
respect
I think
You gotta
I
start
think
back.
Rashawn is asking mindset though, because that was the theme of the draft here. Are
What
we
is the
winning?
What is
Yeah.
the mindset of Bills Mafia?
Yeah, we are
Thank you,
gonna
Joe.
beat
That is my
their ass.
question.
I'm
That's
gonna
what
be
you're
at
you're
that
not-
game 10 degrees outside, and we're gonna beat that ass.
Rashawn's not
That's what
looking
you
for
asked
the
me, that's what's
technical
happening.
answer. Yeah, he wants
Let's
it.
go
Are
to
we
the
doing
Super Bowl.
I am. I'm an appreciator of the game, of course.
Even
I talk. I
fun.
could talk the intricacies, but I just want to know the pulse of Bills Mafia because I can't be there.
Bulls might
I'll
actually
I'll
be
be there for the parade though if we win.
Yes,
How
sir.
much?
Bulls
How
have
much do you
like
think
what
Super Bowl
JT
tickets
said.
will be?
It might be 50.
Oh, good lord! How
Like
much Super
fans
Bowl
are
tickets?
very nervous about Baltimore because of Derrick Henry. So I do think that there's enough fans that are like, I hate that we have to have this matchup. But now it's in front of you, and the pulse is, all right, you got to beat the best to get there. And if you make the Super Bowl, it's got to be deserved.
Lamar's got to show me. And the only other thing I'll say about the MVP discussion, there's no precedent for someone winning 3 MVP. I know it's a regular season award. We do the same thing in the NBA too. There's no precedent for someone winning 3 MVPs that wets the bed like Lamar does in the playoffs. And no, it's a regular season award. I know. However, there's no precedent for that. I don't think there's a single quarterback in league history that's won 3 without a ring. So, but again, it is a regular season award and Lamar is balling. So
Hey, I'm fine if he wins
take
3
that
and
away
doesn't
from
get a
him.
ring. That's good with me.
I bet
Yeah.
Baltimore. Well, I wonder how Baltimore fans will feel about that. I know a couple. Should ask. But
What I hate is like how
Anyway.
much I resent. I'm starting to resent like Baltimore fans from all the crap that's going on because I don't want to feel that way because I don't dislike them, but it's making me dislike them. Just like hearing the crap and like Twitter, I try to avoid it.
Marvel Rivals.
what?
Did you hear
John
that?
just signed into Marvel Rivals.
No, I'm asking him to.
Why you want
I
to play
found-
JT?
I gotta go snowblow.
I just signed in
play.
for the first time ever. Let's play,
Joe.
Tim. Come on.
This your first
There you
time?
go. Have fun.
Love y'all.
Yeah,
All right.
I've never hopped in it.
Love you too,
Mine, I
brother.
gotta sleep.
Yeah.
I'm gassed.
That's all right. I just wanted
Yeah.
to ask a couple questions. I don't get to talk to
Hey.
Bills folks
No
with,
worries,
with
man.
my voice
I-
about football all the
Wait for
time
it.
anymore.
Appreciate
I
it,
feel
man.
Meanwhile,
good.
I have to talk to
I
him
do
every
feel like
day,
the
every
Bills-
week.
Yeah, it sounds worse actually.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, all the Bay Area, since the Niners are eliminated, they're all rooting for the Bills. They're all rooting for the
Oh,
Bills,
good.
and they think we can win it. So
As you
we'll
should
see.
be.
We'll see.
And that's the part where Tim, you mentioned the marketability thing of like,
Oh, people in the Bay Area
People
never
want-
cared about Buffalo without Josh.
right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
yeah, like it's the marketability part where his face is plastered on Paramount Plus. It's
Mhm.
like that's the part that I'm going to always love talking about it. Like having to talk about the Bills and then like, for example, with the goddamn Sabres. The way that you're able to talk about the Bills in such a positive manner, and it's different storylines almost every week. With the Sabres, talking about them is so hard now because it is the same damn thing
Right.
for 13 straight years, and there's no end in sight. Like the literal Bills drought of 17 years. It was the same story almost
What
every
is up,
year.
everybody?
And now it's a different storyline every week. You're looking at matchups and you're thinking about the story. You're thinking about the vibes. You're thinking about everything else. The one thing that I think the Bills have going for them more than anything is not measurable, and it's this. I say it as lovingly as possible. This team is a bunch of fucking idiots, and I love them.
Yeah. All right, I gotta go to bed,
They're
guys.
stupid.
Respect
All
it.
right, Tim.
See you later.